Hey friends, this is Dolynny TV. Welcome aboard as we get set up to discuss all the latest in oil country. The Edmonton Oilers going into a 5-day break starting today, and my goodness friends, it has been an active start to the weekend. Obviously the Oilers very invested in the trade talks right now, I can tell you that much. It's quiet Friday night so far, obviously scouting the Blue Jackets and Ottawa Senators game after scouting Blue Jackets and Habs the other day. So as we continue along here, friends, what I'm going to remind you is if you are new to the channel at any time, please consider hitting that subscribe button. I'm closing in on 15,000 subscribers, about 1,400 or so away here with 31 days to go in the year 2023. But enough about me, friends. What I need to do, like I said, flash this for you. Sorry. We need to talk about those trade situations here. The Oilers scouting. They've been to the Habs Jackets game. They had 3 members accredited and 3 members attend the Habs and Jackets game. Then the Jackets and Sens game tonight. They had 3 accredited. I might have a spelling error there. Don't mind me. It's been a long day. You know how it is on a Friday. And 1 in-person scout for tonight's matchup. As far as I remember from Mark Spector's tweet, it is actually a goalie scout. So keep that in mind as well, considering what we're looking at here for Columbus. When we move over to the next situation here, friends, it's quite obvious what the priority is for the Edmonton Oilers. Goalies are the priority. Yes, has Stuart Skinner been better? Has Kelvin Pickard given you replacement level hockey? Sure. But the long-term solution is not to run Skinner, Campbell, and Pickard. We know that. And even if you call up Campbell after the weekend, we know that ain't a long-term solution based on history. So both the Habs and Jackets will have or already have a 3-goaltender situation. I believe Tarasov is the name of the goaltender for the Jackets, set to return here soon, which is why maybe the Oilers are interested in Columbus's situation. There is some other names to keep an eye on, and we'll look there in a moment. But for the Edmonton Oilers, when it comes to it, Montembeault down there in Montreal just signed a 3-year extension with no trade protection, keep in mind. So there's still a potential you could go out there and get him at a 3-point-some-odd cap hit. But you've got Jake Allen and Caden Primo in net for the Habs as well, and they're 3-headed monsters. So, right, keep in mind, you've got 2 teams in a similar geographic area with similar issues. So that's where we move on to this one here, friends. The Oilers' targets, I don't want to keep it hidden too far into the video, include Merzlikins. We know that. Allen, Montembeault, Chikhanov, and Boqvist. Those are the names that we have heard heavily in the last 2 or 3 days. Obviously, Merzlikins makes sense. Allen makes sense. Montembeault makes sense. What doesn't quite seem to fit the bill is Boqvist. Chikhanov is a bottom 6 kind of forward that fill out the Oilers roster, and he's had some good hockey over the past few years in spurts. So at the end of the day, it's going to work out for the Oilers. Any name on that list is going to be an improvement on at least 1 player on the roster. You'd figure that Adam Boqvist would be an improvement over top of Philip Broberg at current. Boqvist right now 2 points in 10 games played, averaging 15 minutes and 36 seconds a night, plus 4 on the season, 10 shots on goal. Nothing special there. Igor Chikhanov, though, he's had 5 points in 13 games, so he'd fit right in that bottom 6, playing 13.35 a night, shooting 14.3%. You ought to figure if you let him shoot the puck a little bit more, that's going to translate, even if it goes down to 12%, into goals for you. What I will mention, though, friends, is end of the day is when you have lots of Oilers friends, when you talk about the Oilers as much as I do, you throw out some silly things, and you have some silly things thrown out your way. But if the Oilers could find a way to make a blockbuster out of a blockbuster, right, is if this trade to happen with the Columbus Blue Jackets or Montreal Canadiens happens, it's going to involve high dollars, it's going to involve multiple players, so it's going to be a blockbuster just in terms of what's exchanged, not the names exchanged. However, you want to make this a blockbuster with Columbus Blue Jackets based on name, you could go out there and figure out a way to acquire Patrick Laine, who's been kind of all up and down and all around it with the Columbus Blue Jackets. Obviously, you'll see in the next slide here that there's a little bit of money the Oilers could play with, but 9.1, you throw down an 8.7 cap hit, and you get half retention on it. That's 4.35. You throw Warren Foegele there. You throw Jack Campbell in there. You get Merzlikins back. I don't exactly know what Merzlikins' cap hit is, but right there you're already saving about $2.5 million or some kind of number. Merzlikins, by the way, 311 goals against average and 907 save percentage. Get excited, friends. He's got a 5.4 cap hit. So again, you go out there, that's sizable, right? You're now spending $9 million. Can you find a way to kind of make this all work? That's going to be the biggest question, even with 50% retention on line A. So probably dreaming, but again, the Columbus Blue Jackets, as opposed to the Montreal Canadiens, might seem to be a little bit more open to business, right? I think Montreal knows where they're headed. Columbus a little bit more kind of lost in time, if it were, trying to figure out which direction the organization needs to follow at current. So, friends, this is the exciting part for the Edmonton Oilers here, is you've got a couple of teams willing to deal with you. And as well, we talk about 50% retention or something like that, right? Could you get 50% retention on Merzlikins maybe, right? That's a potential. You could do something there, maybe, possibly. Well, you look at our trade chips, right? Trade pieces include Foegele, Campbell, Broberg, first round pick, Ryan McLeod, and your other picks. Obviously, your first is going to be the bait piece. Your other picks are what make the rest of everything happen. McLeod's on there simply due to lack of performance. Broberg's on there because you'd rather give up on him now than see something, waste your time, and then trade him when he might have started upswinging. Campbell, obviously, you know why we're doing that. And Warren Foegele, despite having a stellar start to the year. I mean, Foegele came out the hottest Oiler in the first 5-8 games, but has since cooled off quite substantially. Kind of at times being outshone by Mr. Sam Gagner even, who sits a game, plays a game, sits a game, scores a goal, plays a game, right? Whatever. But that's where the Oilers find themselves, friend, is look at this here, right? That's a lot of names. And you throw in 3 or 4 of those names or 3 or 4 of those things from the Oilers, and you throw on 2 or 3 of these names in here, right? One of the names from Montreal, maybe throw in a player. 1, 2, or 3 names. Merzlikins would be the biggest from the Columbus Blue Jackets. Suddenly you got one of the biggest trades in the NHL so far this year when you date back all the way to the Erik Karlsson trade. So keep in mind, if the Oilers are looking to make something happen with Columbus, it'll be a big splash, and it'll be something to talk about for the next week, week and a half after. And the beautiful part here for the Oilers is they have till Wednesday to make a move, friends. So you thought the other weekend was nuts when we were talking about a blockbuster possibly happening for the Oilers due to the Jack Campbell situation. Well, giddy up, because it looks like we actually know who they might be trading with in terms of Montreal and Columbus now, and kind of what is on the table for the Oilers. Both teams have 3 goaltenders, and might I add here, just to give you an idea of who's available on Columbus, it's Spencer Martin, and then as well Elvis Merzlikins and Daniil Tarasov, I believe is the last name. 320 goals against average and a 903 save percentage for Spencer Martin. So not like he's doing terrible. 2-5-1 record though. You got to remember the Columbus Blue Jackets aren't exactly the best team. 8-13-4. Yes, they have 1 more point than us, but they also have 1 less win than us. So that's kind of where we're sitting right now, friends. The Columbus Blue Jackets in the basement in the Metro. We'll see what happens. Montreal Canadiens, though, still very open to trading Jake Allen. That's the other update. It believes like Jake Allen is going to be traded here by the Canadiens, whether it's be to the Oilers or somebody else. That much we will remain to see. Friends, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am up on out of here.